Welcome to this presentation on instructions for playing the beer game. Beer game is a popular game played in several business schools all over the world, which helps the players to understand some of the dynamics of supply chains. Let's first start to understand the supply chain structure. As you see here, this is the structure of the proposed supply chain which we will use for playing the game. As you see here, you have customers. The game master, the professor, will be playing the role of the customer. If you leave that aside, and the suppliers, these two are notional. You have four layers in between. You have the retailer who feeds to the customers. You have the wholesaler who will supply as per the orders placed by the retailers. Factory depot will do the same for wholesaler, and factory will do for the factory depot. As you see here, whenever an order is placed, the information of how much order that has been placed reaches the next higher level after a week. That is indicated by saying 1 week to transmit order. What it means is, if week 1 retailer places an order of 10 crates of beer, wholesaler will get to know of it only in week 2. Similarly, it takes 2 weeks for the beer to arrive at a supply chain. Going along the same example, if the wholesaler shipped 10 crates of beer in week 1, it will reach the retailer only at the beginning of the week 3. So that is the supply chain that we will be using. Now let's try to understand how to play the game. This is the broad supply chain structure. Let's try to understand how to play the game. So let me take you to some of the things that we will be using to simulate this structure. As you see here, let me quickly take you through. So this is the retailer end. What I am showing now is the retailer end. And then you have the wholesaler, and then above him is the distributor, and of course at the end is the factory. Now let us try to understand these positions clearly. Let's look at the factory. So in each of them, as you see, there is an orange color sheet here representing the factory, and this is called the factory. And as you see, there are 2 boxes there. Basically what it means is the manufacturing lead time for the beer is 2 weeks. So the box on the left extreme is simulating the week 2. The box on the right side in the orange sheet simulates the week 1. So if 2 weeks are over, then you have a green color rectangular sheet in which you see that is the stock of beer on hand. This is as far as the factory. You will find more or less a similar structure elsewhere. Here what you find is the factory warehouse. Here there are 2 bottles, as you see, because now the truck takes 2 weeks to transit. So the one on the left side is a truck which has just left the factory. You can think like that. So it is placed in a box called 2 weeks, which means it will take 2 weeks to reach. And the bottle on the right side represents the truck which has passed through 1 week and has 1 more week to go. And the rectangular box again is the on-hand inventory for the factory warehouse. You see a very similar structure in the case of wholesaler. He also has 2 trucks in the transit. On-hand inventory is there. And finally you have the retailer who has 2 trucks in transit, and also he has on-hand inventory. What you also find in that box is a lower rectangle which says orders in transit. Basically the order that I communicate will take 1 week. So we use this box to simulate. So as you see here, it says order placed, order slip for week 0, and in the box we write so many crates, and says this slip will reach your supplier in week 1. Basically that's how we simulate the system. So let's go back, zoom it out. So essentially this is a supply chain, and that is how a supply chain is made. Now let us see how to play. So let me take you to the computer screen, which has this detail a little bit. So the game begins with a fully loaded pipeline of 12 cases. 4 cases of beer is on hand, remaining 8 cases of beers are in transit. Just to come back here, the blue color chip represents 4 cases. So what you see in the rectangular box is on hand 4 cases, and the 2 trucks each carrying 4 plus 4. That's how the 8 weeks is 8 cases are being accounted for. And each level has 2 orders pending. First order will be received in 1 week. Second order will be received in second week. That's what is being shown here by these 2 bottles. One is a 1 week lead time truck, another is a 2 week lead time truck. So this is the starting condition, and I have represented it here by way of this graphics. I have converted everything into graphics. Now the question is, how will the game move? Now let's see how to move the game. So let's say we are in week 0. In week 0 this is the position. Now how do we move from week 0 to week 1? Which means 1 week has passed. So the trucks must arrive. So let's see how to do that. So after 1 week is over, so what happens is this truck has arrived. So material has come to us. The 2 week truck now becomes 1 week truck. So that is the position you see here, and one needs, all positions will have to do the same thing. For example, here also this truck has arrived, 2 week truck has passed it on to the 1 week truck. So that's a position here, and in the same way here also the 2 week truck has arrived, 1 week truck has arrived, the 2 week truck has now shifted to 1 week truck. And as far as the factory is concerned, it's not truck but it's a production. So this production has arrived, this 2 week lead time is becoming 1 week lead time. So that is the first change we will have to make. So if you make it like that, what we will see is on hand inventory is 8, and there is a 1 week lead time boxes in all positions, which you will see. So that is what is being indicated in this. So we have moved, step 1 we have done, we have moved the material downstream. So we have received fresh crates of beer. Now since 1 week has passed by, we have to move the order information to the next position in the higher stream, which means now the retailer has to move this position here. The warehouse will move it to the distributor, will move it to the factory warehouse, as you see here, and factory warehouse will move it here to the factory. So all of us have received an order slip now. Since we haven't received an order slip, we would like to fulfill the order if possible. So that is the third step that we will do. So each one of us will look at the order slip and see, can we fulfill the requirement, and if possible put it into the 2 week truck, because it is going to take 2 weeks. So let's do that. So the requirement here is 4 crates, therefore I can give 4 crates. It's been scheduled. Similarly, the requirement here is 4 crates. So I can give 4 crates, put it into the 2 week truck shipment. Here also there is a requirement for 4 crates. So therefore I can schedule 1 for the 2 week truck. And the game master will come and ask from the retailer, and whatever he asks, let's say the game master is asking for 4 crates, so you give 4 crates. So one round is over. Now we have to make a decision, because now I have to place an order. Now that I have consumed some inventory, I will place an order and keep it in that box, which I give only 1 week later. I cannot give it now because there is a 1 week lead time. So I write, for example, the retailer has written that he wants 6 cases of beer. This is the order he is writing in week 1. Therefore, he will keep it here. He will give it only in week 2. In the same way, he has written 8 crates, which is the wholesaler, and again he has written it in week 1, but he will keep it in that box and give it only next week. Similarly, factory warehouse has written 4, so they will also keep it in that box and give it only next week. In the case of factory, they don't have to write an order, they can directly schedule an order. So let us say the factory wants to schedule a manufacture of 8 crates of beer. So therefore factory will put 2 slips, chips. The blue chip represents, as I told you, is 4 crates of beer. So one full round is over. So this is what we mean by this thing here. So the steps are, we moved the material downstream, we moved the information upstream, which is the slip, we gave it on the upstream. Then since we received an order slip on hand, we tried to schedule the shipment for downstream, and then we finally wrote how much order I should place and then keep it in. Finally, after all these, we will fill in one piece of data in this sheet. So that is what this is saying. Let's go over it. So graphically speaking, this is what will happen if you really look. What has happened is, one truck has arrived. So the week 2 is empty. Week 2 has been transferred to week 1. Week 1 has been transferred to on hand. That's how the 8 position on hand becomes 8 in all the places. Then the order slip is being sent. As you see here, the arrow indicates that the order slip from retailer goes to wholesaler, the order slip from wholesaler goes to warehouse, and the order slip from warehouse goes to factory. That's what is shown by these slanting arrows to indicate that is what it is. And then we start fulfilling the order. Now that I received an order slip, I want to see if we can fulfill it. So that's what we are trying to do. And so on hand inventory becomes 8. In the case of factory, from 8 it becomes 4. Why? Because the second truck has now received 4 in warehouse. Same thing happens in all other places. So that's how we have started scheduling shipment into the 2-week truck. And factory does not place an order, it merely schedules a production. So in this case, it appears that they want to manufacture 12 crates of beer. So there are some rules which so it will go on like this. Every time the game master will come and ask for something, and then it will trigger. He will say, now let's move from week 1 to week 2. So we will do the same thing. We'll receive shipment, we will send the order slip, we'll try to satisfy the shipment, write an order to be given next week and put it on the box. So each level can communicate orders in written form only. No other form of communication is allowed between positions, and communication can be carried out between successive levels only. So this is what in a nutshell this game is all about. So we need to maintain this discipline of these truck positions and these order positions and timing. Then we would have simulated the reality, and we hope to play for about 24 periods. Please go over this video once or twice so that you get an idea. We'll play with that understanding the game. Thank you.